Hey, what's up guys, Joker here. I've been thinking about making this video for some time since the beginning of Endwalker, and I feel like it's a good time now. I've played enough dungeons, played through the raids, seen enough of the classes, and I'm ready to give the definitive take on Endwalker class tiers right now. Endwalker classes right now. I'm gonna be ranking them in the tier list, and first up, I'd be educational to review my previous tier from the last time I did this video a few probably like 5 months ago, something like that. It was towards the end of Endwalker. This is what I put out. Looking at it, I think there's some things that are definitely going to be changing, but some things are definitely going to be staying the same. So yeah, let me get into it. So on this one, there's not a community rank like last time. There's only 2 people who did it. I'll look at it, but I'm gonna try to like block out their names and stuff like that. So yeah, because it shares their names for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, let's get into this. So I think the easiest way is to go to the start at the bottom and go for there. So Bard, D. I still think Bard is a D, mostly because it is just a worse dancer in terms of its its support buffs, in terms of its damage. Dancer is what you see in more high-end content. Bard, you barely see it unless you're playing like roulettes or something like that, and even then you're not going to really see that many bards in general. I just think it's just a stupid class where the only thing that's going for it is the annoying music you see like in Gridania and stuff like that. But besides that, I think Bard is just useless. I leveled this class to 80. I still have the same opinion. It's just kind of dumb. I mean, I only have 3 classes at 90, but for the most part, most of them haven't changed that much, and they're pretty much the same. And also, the opinion is, my opinion from what I've seen, Bard is just still the worst class in the game by far. And I think since I talked about Dancer, I'm gonna just rank it, and I think it's a B. Last time it was at B, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was a high B I put. I still agree with that a lot because I think Dancer's just a good buff class, good damage. You see it all the time. You'll see, if you even see a Dancer, you'll see it more often than not. It's just a really the dance partner thing is a really good mechanic for dancers. I think honestly, if you took that out of Dancer, it would probably be a D where Bard is, and definitely be the worst. I mean, honestly, I'll put Bard at C in that case and put Dancer at D. But yeah, Dancer, just a great class in general for the support. This is the support you would want if you even had a support. But generally, when you see DPSs, you're not going to see either of these, and you can make the argument, well, that means Dancer should be a C. Nah, I still think it's a B. I think it's still a competent class. I think there's just better DPS to play that, one, look better glam wise, and 2, play better. So yeah, so I got those 2 out of the way. I'm gonna move over to tanks. I'm gonna start with the class I main, Paladin. I think Paladin is an S. I think it's still an S. I think it is an S. I think it always should be an S. It's the only class where you can do big damage, look cool, do heals, and be a tank. And I feel like that magic rotation, people are expecting probably a little more. To be honest, I'm kind of disappointed with it, in that I had Paladin at the highest S. I think that honestly I was just memeing, and it shouldn't be the highest S. It shouldn't be the best class. I'll get into that soon, but Paladin is just a great class. I think it is the best tank. Mostly because you have the free wheel to where you can switch into a healer, and I've done that multiple times with the new raids where I have to be the healer because the healers are sucking. And I can still not die, and as you have the best, I think you have the best dot in general. I think it's slightly better than the warrior one. Yeah, I mean, just all positives for Paladin. And since I was talking about warrior, I think it's an S as well. I had it rated as an A. I think that was wrong, mostly because I hadn't played warrior yet. I leveled it up to 80, and I understand exactly why it should be S. Fellcleave is not the only thing warrior is good for. Its mitigations are super good. It just loves taking damage. You can just boost your health. I really liked playing it. It was a great class in general, and just enjoyed it a lot. What can you say? Again, mitigation dot really good. Yeah, and then I'm gonna go into the worst rated tank in my opinion, and it's Dark Knight. I have it at C. I had it at I think B. Yeah, I had it at B last time. I it's just the worst tank. The only thing it has going for it is it looks cool. And yes, people are gonna say, well, it has the best mitigation. That Dark Knight was literally one of the tanks in the world first Savage Clear. I get that. That doesn't mean it's a tank, guys. It's still a tank. It's the worst tank though. It has that Blackest Night is basically it. I feel like its damage is just not as good as Paladin or Warrior or Gunbreaker. Um, it just doesn't feel as solid as a tank as all three the other three, and um its mitigate its dot is bad because you can die from it. Um yeah, so I mean, I played Dark Knight. I've seen some changes. It's at 85. It's not all the way done, but the changes they made to Dark Knight with Delirium, I think really knock it down. Like using it only 3 times and 60-second cooldown, you can say, well, it's a shorter cooldown. I liked honestly the longer cooldown because you can just build back up those. You can just build your bar back up to use those attacks while you're waiting. Also, it's just it's still a tank. It's still there. Could it be a B? Maybe, but for now, I still think of it as a C. And like also mentioning with the changes like Paladin, its changes were kind of good. I mean, you don't have Requisite isn't really annoying to use now. You get heals off different attack off just playing the class passively. That's why Paladin's so far ahead of it. Now Gunbreaker. I think Gunbreaker's a B. Um, Mostly, but I think it's gonna be the high. I think it's the highest B. To be honest. Um, it's more the same reasons. It does a lot of damage. It's a good tank. I feel like the negatives are getting aggro. In all the other classes, it's way easier because you have a better AOE or you have an AOE. It's easier to grab aggro on big mobs and stuff like that and pull. I think that's really a negative for it, and that's why it's at B instead of like A. Um, its mitigations also could be better, but I think what saves it is its damage. Its Superba Life dot is also really bad, where it drops you down to 1 health and you have to hope your healer heals you, which is gonna happen, but it's kind of annoying to deal with. That's why it's at B. Now I'll move back into the DPS, and I'm gonna go with the best class. It's Red Mage. I think I got a deeper appreciation when I leveled up my Red Mage, and I think at that point I hadn't done it yet. It can heal from res, it can do big damage, you can attack from far and in close, it has a combo on that. It's just really, really good, and what you just can't say enough about Red Mage. It's just so solid of a class that it has to be the best class in the game. You see it all the time. If you have a Red Mage, I mean, sometimes you'll see it. You have all your DPS be Red Mages, and then you're like, yeah, we don't even need to worry about our healers because our Red Mages can literally be healers if they want to. I really like the rotation. I really liked when I played it. It's one of the classes I can't wait to go back into and level up to 90. I've seen nothing but good things in Endwalker about it. It's just improving the rotation and making it better. I think Red Mage is just, and it's surprising that this is the highest ranking expansion one class out there, and it came in Stormblood, which a lot of people think is the worst one. Which is also funny because I think Samurai is also an S. Oh, I grabbed Sage on accident. Samurai is also an S. I had both Samurai and Red Mage as S's, and they stay where they are. But Samurai probably moves back further in S, and Red Mage moved up to being the best. Samurai, I leveled it at 90. Just makes the rotation way easier to do big damage. It also makes it way easier to just have big explosions and stuff like that. Build your little meditation bar. You can now use level 1 instead of level 2. I just really like what they did to Samurai. Made it a little crisper, a little more cleaner, and doing more damage. It's just I gained a better appreciation for some other classes. That's why I want to. It's probably going to be moved back a bit. But yeah, nothing but good things for Samurai. Now, this is the highest new class I have, and it's gonna be Reaper. I'm putting it third. Um, again, level this to 90. Really just love it. Big damage. I think it really hurt Jugun because there's no sense of playing Jugun when you can play Reaper. I mean, at least because they share the gear, so it's like you want to play Reaper as the Maimer, and still, I really liked it. It has what Dark Knight has with that edgy appeal, the looking cool appeal, but it's actually like really good. I mean, not to say Dark Knight is like really terrible, but I mean, I did rate it as a C and Reaper's an S. But then again, it's like your preferences on how you playing Q could also come into which class you want to play. Um, but Reaper is just so good. I love the teleport thing. I think that's really cool, and how it's kind of odd how Red Mage is basically the only DPS that has that type of thing. I know Dragoon kind of has it, but it's not as cool, and it doesn't, it's not as good as Red Mage or Reapers. Um, I like the little debuff you can apply. I like just the animations and stuff like that on Reaper. I think it just is such a great class in terms of DPS. Um, Now, one thing that has been odd is in the raid content, I've not been seeing Reapers, and I do find that odd. But I think it's just because people wanted to level the new class, got tired of it, and they're playing, the older classes again. Maybe I don't know. Next is Jugun. I've been talking about it a bit. I rated it as the highest A last time. For now, it is the highest A because it's only one on A. Um, I just I love Jugun too. I mean, like you can see, like the ones that have A and up. I mean, those are just the classes I just love to play. Especially when I leveled it up to 80. It's just so good. I mean, it has what Dancer and Bard has, where it has a little buff thing you can give to a party member, but it also does a crap load of damage and isn't useless. It's also it was kind of meant to be like a pseudo tank because Gridania didn't get a tank in its starting area, but that's why in the beginning that's why it shares tank gear. But it's not a tank, it's a DPS, and it does a lot of damage. The rotation is cool, it looks cool. Um, yeah, and I can't wait again. Can't wait to play Jugun. It's up there with all that I'm trying to do, but I'm trying to level all the classes to 80 before I go back and do more 90 levels because it's just gonna 90 leveling is just gonna be easy. Um, but yeah. So I'm gonna go with Summoner here, and Summoner, what I have it at? I had it at C. I think it's gonna be a B. I grabbed the wrong one again. It's gonna be a B. It's gonna be the back B. I think it moves up mostly because of how they added some changes, like having the summons out there at level 90 make it look really cool and really more engaging. You're doing more damage. Um, why I struggled with this one and thinking about maybe it should be C still is because I didn't like the rotation when I was playing it. It felt really slow. It felt really like not as good as a black mage, which I did level to 80 later and I really liked. In fact, when I was leveling summoner and scholar, I played more scholar than I did summoner. But I mean, obviously I did play summoner just to get know the rotation and stuff like that. But it's not the DPS I would choose. I do like it though as a B because I do feel like it's in that middle tier of classes. Um, if you want to, I mean, like just looking at this, B is a middle tier, but yeah, I just feel like it fits in that B tier really well and really aesthetically wise. Summoner kind of just always looks stupid. I don't know how its class gear every single time looked dumber and dumber. We're talking about, if we want to talk about aesthetics and going into that, but yeah. The Black Mage I mentioned, Black Mage I had at S, which is honestly kind of shocking to me that I put it at S. I'm gonna put it at A. I think it drops down because after I played it, I didn't like how slow it is. It goes back to that summoner thing. I didn't like how I was always supposed to stay really far away from everybody. I didn't feel like I was involved as much in actual fighting and stuff like that. Even though you saw the big explosions, you knew you were doing damage and stuff like that. The whole ley line, fire four rotation thing. I mean, you should go look at any guide or rotation for Black Mage. It's so boring. You click literally like four buttons. I feel like it had to move from S to A I still think it is a really good class just because of how much damage it is and how it's doing it consistently and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, it had to drop down mostly because I added Reaper and some other things to S. But yeah, actually looking at it, yeah. Um, but I just I had to move it to A. Now which one do I want? I want Ninja. I think Ninja. I had an A, which is honestly that surprised me that I had Ninja at A. Like going back, I actually thought it was like a B, and I looked at the video and I was like, oh, it was A. I hadn't played Ninja. I honestly didn't see many people play Ninja. I think I did more research on Ninja. That's where I came to the determination it was an A. After playing Ninja, I do agree that it's an A, but mostly because better reasoning. It's at 75 for me right now. It's almost at 80. I just like the rotation. I think honestly why it's an A and not like higher is because Samurai is basically just a better ninja in every aspect. It's better in terms of the weeby anime aesthetic because I just feel like Samurai fits that way better, even though Ninja has a Naruto running type of thing. I think Samurai does more damage than Ninja. The only thing is like Ninja, it's like rotation. You thought with the Mudra, I thought it would be way more complicated. It's not. It's like the only complicated part is are you accidentally spamming so quick that you hit and do rabbit ninjutsu. I kind of don't like that rabbit ninjutsu thing where it's like you're getting punished for clicking the wrong button when in literally every class it doesn't feel like that. You just do less damage, which is overall not a bad thing because at least you're doing damage. And in Ninja, when you do the rabbit ninjutsu, you're doing nothing. So I feel like I was also kind of struggling with it in the sense of, well, should it be B? No, I'm. It's just gonna be the lowest A. I like it a lot. I do like how you can put that poison clap down on the ground. I honestly thought that was Black Mage when I was first playing the game, but it's Ninja. Um, I do like when you get the bigger attacks with that new like scroll gauge. Those are really cool. When I was playing in PvP, it was always fun to use that. And now that I actually have it and I'm actively using it in PvE, it's really fun to use too. Overall, I think Ninja is just a fun class. But if you want that, you know, like I don't know what to call it, Japanese aesthetic, I guess, play Samurai over Ninja. Um, Even though I think Ninja's rotation is slightly easier than Samurai, even though they kind of did try to streamline Samurai this expansion. Still wiping up DPS. Blue Mage, I didn't rate it last time. I'm not gonna rate it this time. Um, it's more side content than it is a class. Um, so yeah, let's finish up DPS. Monk, I'm struggling with here, but I think I'm gonna just put it at D. Where did I have it last time? I did it C, the lowest C. I think it's a D. I don't like doing the positional type of stuff. I actually like how Ninja and Samurai do not have that because you can have like True North and they really don't. Like Ninja has some of them that kind of rely on where your position is, but it's really not as positional heavy as Monk is. I don't think Monk is really. If you look at all the other DPS, I would play all the other DPS over Monk except for Bard. Because I put it ahead of Bard, but it's just like when you look at it aesthetic wise, it's like okay, why are you not playing a ninja? Why are you not playing a samurai? From DPS wise, why are you not playing a reaper? Why are you not playing samurai? Why are you not playing red mage? Why are you not playing? Well, it's like, it's honestly it gets to the point where there's so many classes, but it's like some of them you got to look at. You got to really say why am I playing this class? And in that instance, that's what really hurts. Monk in that case, and why I put it at the bottom, and honestly why it's the last one I'm gonna level to 80. Um, but yeah, Machinist. Machinist is interesting. It has a cool mech and stuff like that. I really do like Machinist aesthetically, and damage wise, and just from overall, I think it. I mean, let me look at this. It's the best physical range, probably. The only reason Dancer's ahead of it is because of the buffs and stuff like that. It's a B. It's a good solid class to play. Honestly can't wait to play it. It's gonna be a new experience. It's gonna be interesting. The different gauges, like of the hot and cold, is kind of interesting. It kind of reminds me of playing Red Mage, where you're balancing two gauges and stuff like that. So from that sense, it's gonna be annoying because I have to deal with learning another two gauge type thing. but it is there. It's kind of adds that layer of complexity to it, and can't wait to give it a try. Um, so all that's left are healers now. So I'm gonna start with the healer I've played, and it's gonna be Scholar. Scholar to me is the best A. I'm just like looking to see where I put it. I put it as the second highest A. That was without me playing it. The reason I love Scholar is because every time I play with a Scholar, I don't die. They're great at healing. They give you great armor buffs. They always have the big heals ready to go. It was just so good playing the class. It felt really easy knowing my big heals. I could still do damage. Damage that looked cool too. Um, Generally, I just really enjoyed playing the class. It was a lot of fun. I didn't think I was gonna have a lot of fun playing a healer, but I had fun playing a healer. I mean, whoop de doo. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like White Mage is really the one I can't wait to play because of the wings. They always do big heals, and that leads me to White Mage. Yeah, I think White Mage is the best healer in the game. When I have a White Mage in my party, I never have to worry about them doing the heals wrong because they're gonna do the heals right all the time. They always have the big heals. They can always do what they need to do. The Lily Gauge kind of thing is kind of cool too because it allows you to do damage, which is kind of interesting. To a bigger extent, I just generally just like White Mage a lot. I had it as my lowest S, so yeah, definitely made a little bit of a move up. Now next is Astrologian. I think Astrologian is a very very good class, and I've learned to appreciate it more as people keep saying, "Oh, Astrologian is actually a good class." I had it. Where did I have it? I had Astrologian as the lowest B. I generally think that's one of the things I did wrong. It is definitely an A. Is it the second highest A? Maybe not, but I'm also gonna give the curve factor because it's healers. Healers are so freaking important that these need to be higher. More people need to play healer. I mean, the reason why they have insta Q is because nobody plays healer. Um, and I generally think Astrologian is a really really good class that gives you big buffs, gives you good heals, and it's again all three of those I don't have to worry about getting heals. Now to that point, Sage. Sage I think is a C. I think that's gonna be controversial to a lot of people because people are like, oh no, Sage is good and stuff like that. Oh, what's my dog doing? Oh, okay. Well, what is it? Okay. She's just distracting me. But Sage is the worst class. I mean, the worst new class they added, obviously, because there's only two. Um, I think Sage is just so bad. It goes to what I was saying. When I see a Sage, I start to worry, and that is not a good thing. When I did the raid on this reset this week, it was another prime example of where I had to turn into a freaking healer because the Sages suck at their job, and honestly, I haven't figured out if it's the class that sucks or if it's the people that suck. And I think it's more to the point of what I was saying. I think because it was a new class, a lot of people wanted to play it. And it was their first healer class. That is not a good thing where you're dropping in a healer at 70. I actually really appreciated playing Scholar because I learned it incrementally from 1 to 80 all the way up. Not dropping in at 70 and being like, what the fuck does any of this shit do? Because honestly, when you look at all the other classes, they're all the same from DPS to tank. You're trying to do damage, and that's what it is. You got to do big damage, and the rotation. Honestly, most of these buttons are kind of the same. That's why I like when I was moving through DPSs on different scale levels, like Red Mage and Reaper. I wasn't really out of it. I figured it out pretty easily. Sage, it's a healer. It's different. It's something you haven't seen before because it's a healer. I think honestly that's maybe a point to why people are struggling. I don't think that. I've only found two Sages that have been really good, and they were not level 90. One guy was 70, one guy was 80. They did their job because guess what? They knew how to heal. But honestly, I've seen way too many examples where the Sage is just shit as a healer. And when there's a Sage and a Scholar, a Sage or a White Mage, the White Mage or the Scholar, they're the ones that are picking it up, not the Sage. The Sage is the one who's always shitting the bed somehow. And honestly, I think Sage is a C. It's the worst healer by far. I don't think I don't know how you could think Scholar or Sage, Scholar or Astrologian or White Mage are worse, when White Mage is, I think, by far the best healer. Sorry about my dog, but she's like getting excited. Yeah, I've been going on for like quite a bit, but yeah, I just want to take a look at the community thing, so I gotta just move myself right here. And hopefully I can just edit out whatever that was. But yeah, Dark Knight and Sage being S goes back to my point of what the fuck is this guy smoking? Um, I don't understand how you put Paladin and Warrior at B. It's kind of like weird. And Red Mage at the lowest B. I don't understand that. That's and Bard at A. Like this is such a weird ranking. And then put Ninja at C. Ninja is not that horrible. Like, and I don't understand how you put Bard above Dancer when you see way more Dancers and way less Bards. I barely see Bards and Pugilists. That's a kind of dead giveaway that they're the worst class. I just cannot disagree with this one more. I think it's just really, 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 really wrong. And maybe they just main those two classes, the S classes. Now this one, oh wow, that actually kind of worked out that that ad is placed there. Warrior and Reaper at S, okay. Astrologian, White Mage Scholar. I think Sage at B, yeah, I toyed with that, but honestly I would have put it at the worst B. Dark Knight being higher than Paladin is just blasphemy. Still, Summoner being a D, honestly I don't have that big of a problem with that. And Machinist being a D, I just think that's just flat out wrong, to be honest. But okay. Dancer being a C, I mean, okay. Bard being higher than that, I just don't get that. But yeah, those are the only two that are available, so I can't really give an empirical evidence. So even then, it's like you can't get like empirical, but whatever. This is my opinion. This is the definitive take on Endwalker classes right now. I might do one later in 5.2, maybe even later than that, 5.3. But yeah, I'll give updates throughout the expansion cycle. Also wanted to say, please leave a like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Leave a comment below what you thought was the best class, your top 3 maybe. And then also check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Joker. Spelled the same as the YouTube channel. Leave follow. Really helps out. Really appreciate it. Until next time, see you later. Bye.